Hi, I'm photographer David Flores, and today I'm sitting down with Justin from Fuji, and we're taking a first look at Fuji's brand new X-H1. Where does the X-H1 fit into Fuji's camera lineup?
Well, the X-H1 is our new flagship camera.
What were some of the needs that came up, in designing a new flagship?
Well, there's lots of needs. We felt that we needed a body that was a little bit bigger, a little bit more robust, that was sized right, but also it gives us a chance to sort of use some more technology. So being able to add IBIS to a camera. So the in-body image stabilization in this camera, it's a first for us, but it requires a lot of other hardware. It requires, 3 motors to drive the sensor around and a new dual processor in there to actually run the system, but also requires a bigger shutter. So we had a completely redesigned shutter in this camera that gives the sensor that room it needs to be able to shift around.
It's an incredibly quiet shutter that you built in there.
We need that quiet shutter. We need that low impact shutter not to be imparting vibration because that affects the in-body stabilization also. So by having that shutter, it really adds to the features of the camera and the ability to hand hold the camera. So being able to basically give you 5 stops of image stabilization to a lens like the 16-55 f2.8 that didn't come from the factory with OIS in it. So really giving you that feature and being able to give your 56 1.2 that I know you love image stabilization, that's a great thing.
And there's other things that come along with making the body a little larger. It looks like there's some DNA from the GFX in here. Is this the same e-ink type of screen that we've seen on the GFX?
Same e-ink type display, yeah, but really this camera from a sort of functional form shape, it's kind of the child of T2 and GFX, that really blending a lot of things together, that it is, you're not going to feel unfamiliar with it if you're a T2 owner, and if you're a GFX owner, you're going to feel at home too, but really kind of blending the two design principles together. So keeping the manual control dials, adding that display on top, being able to customize that display and see what you've got, but also the bigger sort of hand grip, that sort of deeper grip to it that a lot of photographers are used to now.
And that feels fantastic, but under the hood, there's a lot of other pro things going on.
Completely new autofocus system with new algorithms, new everything driving it. So it's using the same sensor as the T2, but we've sort of turbocharged all the stuff under the hood. So it's just looking at things differently. It's allowing it to track differently and track better and faster, but it's also adding E-first curtain to it has changed some of the ways the shutter works and being able to reduce blackout time. So if you are shooting sports in action, the camera's much quicker. With electronic shutter, we're getting a blackout time of about 100 milliseconds. So it really sort of feels like you're shooting a DSLR at that point.
Well, for folks that don't know, electronic shutter, it's not a full electronic shutter. You have a physical shutter that's finishing out that exposure.
Correct, yeah.
What's the benefit for the user starting with that electronic first curtain shutter?
Well, there's a couple of different benefits, but the biggest one that the user will see is the speed.
At faster shutter speeds, the camera will automatically click over to mechanical shutter?
We set it up so, yeah, automatically the camera can click over to mechanical so that you don't get artifacting from the effect.
One thing that I noticed, looking just right here at the back of the camera, is the LCD screen on the back is a little bit different. It looks like we're 16:9 back here now.
Actually, we're looking at being wider, because this camera we've now added DCI 4K, so true cinema 4K aspect ratio.
In terms of video, this is also a proper professional flagship style camera for video.
Yeah, we've added a lot of little features with video, so now doing log internal is probably one of the biggest ones that customers have been asking for, giving them that feature, but also being able to do 120 high speed.
Yeah, F-Log was awesome on the X-T2. Essentially, it's a great format. If you knew you were going to be doing some aggressive color grading or post-production on the file, you could do that. But the only negative of that was you had to run it HDMI out into an external recorder. So here, you can go right in on the SD card.
Right in on the SD card in log, yes. So we have log capture internal. So if you want to be running gun and be quick and don't have space for a external recorder, yeah, we got you covered now. So we've got the new Eterna film simulation, which is based on one of our old motion picture film stocks. It really is a low contrast, low saturation film stock, ideal for sort of a moving picture application. But also we've now added it so that there's actually film simulations dedicated to the video function. So you can have one film simulation set for still images and a second one set for video, and you don't have to be constantly changing them. If you flip back and forth, you always get what you want.
So right up here, like if I'm switching, I can switch between the video mode. The video mode's gonna have, like, let's say F-Log internal on, but when I want to start shooting stills, I just come over to any of the still.
You could be in Acros, you could be in black and white, and you have Eterna or have whatever you like set for your video shooting, and you have both those separate from each other. So we've made the whole sort of image menu separate. you can have that. You don't have to, oh shoot, I have to remember to change my film sim. Oh, that's already changed. You don't have to worry about it.
We were going through the video menu earlier. We were checking out the camera. There's 4 video pages on this.
4 pages of video menu, yeah. So we now have some different bit rates we can record at, 50, 100, 200 megabits per second.
200 megabits per second in camera.
In camera.
That's amazing.
So just looking at really trying to focus on some of the video functions and how can we improve those things and make them even better on this camera. They've also, with the focus system updates, they've looked at making linear focus pulls. So this focus by wire technology, videographers aren't big fans of it because it tends to ramp and move really kind of weird. Some of the new tech in this is being able to go linear on the focus wheels so that you get some smoother being able to track and pan, but also looking at the AF algorithm. So with the autofocus continuous setting in camera, if you don't have the time or you can't be manually pulling focus, if you're going to use AF-C, we have the ability there too to set the tracking speed so that we don't have the snap focus of a still image where it jumps and focus from you to me. It actually can rack that focus much smoother.
You can also use the touch screen for photo and video.
Yeah, we have a touch screen on the back now and having the video controls, so having silent touch video controls, being able while I'm recording video to pinch in and zoom in to see what we've got.
Well, it's an incredible set of features.
Yeah, really addressing the sort of requests and needs that users have been giving us.
If you're a flagship user, if you're a professional, or if you're an enthusiast that requires the high capabilities of still photography and 4K image making, I think the XH-1 is an amazing flagship option. Well, thank you so much for coming by and giving us the tour, Justin.
Thank you.
I'm photographer David Flores. See you next time. All right, Jake, right towards me, walk towards me.
Looking at...
Yeah, look above me, yeah. All right. Ready? Okay, let's do it.